Hi friends. Now let us take up the second core concept in our Python Feel Good series. Understanding function-oriented programming paradigm. Paradigm, this word I must remember. Paradigm means a model. It's like a blueprint. As I told you in the previous concept, there are tens of programming languages in the programming world, namely C, C++, Java, Python, R, HTML, JavaScript, Ruby, Perl, Ship. Like dozens of languages are there. Every language is own strength and weaknesses also at the same time. One point you must remember: every new language is developed and introduced to overcome the old one, because old one is having certain weaknesses. In order to overcome those weaknesses, new languages are developed and using new paradigms also they introduce. Now, what is paradigm? Paradigm means simply understand as a model or a concept. Every programming language is developed based on a model. These models, there are many, but the prime models are three. One is procedural. You understand? Procedural programming paradigm. Second one is function oriented programming paradigm. Simply I am writing FOP, function oriented programming paradigm. Third one is WOOP, object oriented programming paradigm. These are the prime paradigms. Just I give a briefing because the basic concept, by ignoring that I cannot go ahead. Otherwise, again, my system also become represents a blind person's walk. Okay. Now, just for introduction sake, I am telling you. Most of you know all the basic prime languages. Suppose if you take C, C language supports both procedural and function oriented. Actually, C language is a true function oriented programming language. That point you have to understand. Next, if you come to C++, C++ supports all the three: procedural, FOP and WOOP. Okay. As far as Java is concerned, Java, it is a true function oriented programming language. We cannot write procedural programs or FOP programs in Java. As far as Python is concerned, this is a Python. Python is also hybrid language like C++. It supports a procedural, functional programming and object oriented programming paradigms. Actually, this is a big subject. If I explain this one here, you are distracted. However, some enthusiastic students are there. They want to learn everything. I don't want to discourage them. For them, every time you see that in description box, I am providing you relevant links. Suppose if you want to study depth, I am providing there. But I don't want to force everybody who is not interested to study depth. Okay, that will leave it. So I am providing the system in generic way. If you are lazy, you take whatever you want. If you are enthusiastic, you take more. Both are available to you, plate meals and full meals also. Okay. Now, first you understand this. Actually, procedural means very simple. Actually, I showed you one program in the previous concept. I showed you a mark report program. How is that? It looks like this: a number of statements like this. What I call number of instructions. Number of instructions. A set of instructions is called a program. Now, for doing everything, one procedure is there. In one example, I have given check to my assistant for getting it withdrawn. Okay, there is a procedure in that. If you count the steps, what are the steps? Take check, go to bank, go to the counter, give the check, take cash, count it, keep it safe, come to me, give the cash. That in that actually one instruction only, 9 subtasks or 9 steps are there. The 9 steps are called procedure. So in procedure, suppose if you take this general task, 9 steps are implemented one by one, then the task is performed. This is a simple thing. For that, no logic is required, no intelligence is required. So in order to print mark report, whatever procedures are required, everything I have written. Around 40 statements I have written. Then your marks report, whatever you expected, that is printed. That is procedural, very easily understand. So function orientation, FOP, function oriented programming paradigm, FOP. Regarding FOP, I have to give briefing here. Then only you can understand what is the meaning of function, what is its purpose. So I give a briefing about that, not in depth. And I don't right now. I am not explaining WOOP, object oriented programming, is much advanced to that, and FOP is subset of WOOP. Okay, that point you understand. So in this, briefly, you have to understand about the function orientation, and that too from real life I am explaining. Don't bother about technicalities and all that. And if you know what is the why function is required, if you understand, that is enough. That is the basic purpose of this thing. Okay, now I will explain one analogy. This world is collection of specialists, and real world is specialist oriented world. That is my statement. And now I enlighten. What is that? Actually, in our world, collection of specialists, you can find many specialists like like a cleaner, painter, mechanic, carpenter, mason, driver, doctor, teacher. Like that, you cannot list out how many specialists are there. What is the use of specialists? Now, whenever you want a specialized service, you hire their services, hire and fire. Then you hire them and get the services. First, I show that model. Why that model? It is exactly like a function orientation in programming. Function orientation and specialist orientation are analogically same. That's why first I explain the concept from real life. Thereafter, I explain from a programming angle. By that, without reading and just watching this lecture, you can understand what is function orientation. Now we see one simple example I give. You love it. This is you. You want to get your house cleaned. Then what to do? You appoint a cleaner. Okay. Cleaner comes and cleans your home and go. Next, you want to get your house painted. Then what to do? You appoint painter, and after painting, house will become dirty. Then it should be cleaned, and cleaner is also appointed. In this context, one point you have to understand. Actually, same person or same set of person may do both the jobs, but you have to treat them differently. When they are painting, you call them painter. When they are cleaning, you call them cleaners. Okay, same set of people, but for this purpose, we have to classify them like that, depending on their specialties. Next, you want to get your house shifted from one place to other place. Then who are required? Packer, lifter, and mover. See, actually your article should be nicely packed. Professionally, they should be packed. Then packers will do that. Thereafter, after packing, it should be put in properly lifted and put in a vehicle, a truck. Those are lifters. And after that, from this place to other place, new house, it should be transported. Those are movers. Here, you are finding three types of specialists. As I told you, same set of people may do the three jobs. Even though when they are packing, call them packer. When they are lifting, you call them lifter. When they are moving, you call them as movers. Now, another big example I give you. You want to construct your house. Then, who are required? Architect, engineer, mason, transporter, plumber, painter, electrician, interior decorator. Like that, tens of specialists, tens of types of specialists you engage. How your house is constructed means what to tell? By collective contribution of all the 10 plus types of specialists, house is constructed. By collective contribution of 3 types of specialists, my house is shifted. By collective contribution of 2 types of specialists, my house got painted and cleaned. Like that, we perceive.